Hello there! Haujambo? Mambo zako? Unaendelea vizuri? This is Binti Malu, and if this is the first time to see a video from me, welcome. And I make videos about Africa and everything else you would like to talk about. So if you think you'll be interested in such videos, go ahead and subscribe below, or you can wait till the end of the video to determine whether you'd like to subscribe or not. It's your choice. Today's video I'll be talking about why I am proud to be an African. Hashtag proud African, hashtag proud Tanzanian, hashtag proud East African. I'm just proud to be African, and I feel that my parents helped me to get to this place whereby I'm proud to be an African. There's never been a point in my life where I was ashamed of being African, and this is all thanks to my parents, because they brought my sister and I up to be able to appreciate our identity and to know our identity and to stand by identity. Being African is not a misfortune as some might believe. Being African is one of the most amazing things that can happen to a person, because Africans, we are awesome, we are diverse, we are respectful, we are cultured, we have great music, we have a lot, wildlife, great community, friendly people. So me as an African, I feel so proud, and I just want to share my Africanness with everybody, because there's nothing to be ashamed. Things I like about being African is the fact that there's that communal upbringing, and there's so much socializing. We get to know each other, each person knows their neighbor, and vice versa. If you need something small like salt, you just go to your neighbor's house and grab salt. So we don't have that sense of individuality. We are more of a community, which is one of the best things, because bringing up a child is not one person's job. It takes a village to raise a child. That is one of our African proverbs. And the second thing is that Africa, we have good insights and great proverbs. If you Google African proverbs, you'll be amazed by the amount of wisdom that is filled in Africans. We have great food, delicious food. My favorite is, I like makande, I like kibulu, I love chapati, I love marage. Marage is not African and chapati is Indian, I believe. But those are the food that I love. So Africa, we have great food in from different countries. If you love food, you need to go to Africa and eat as much as you can, because the food is out of this world. So keep that in mind. Another thing I like about Africa is the music. The music is very, I don't know how to express it. It makes you want to move. It makes you want to praise. It uplifts your soul. The words of the music, most of them make sense. So African music is great, especially traditional music, you know, like on weddings, there are songs that we sing to praise the bride, or the parents' bride, or the groom, or the parents' groom. And this just, oh my goodness, you should attend an African wedding. I love African weddings too, because I get to sing so many songs. Like in my language, my favorite is Begala Mwana Luwadia, Ae Luwadia, Kuguramti Luwadia, Ae. Yeah, there's that one. And then there's another one I know from Tanzania was Dalela, Dalela Mama, Dalela, Dalela Kansereka. So the weddings in Africa are amazing because of their music. Goodness, you can just sense my excitement. And then another thing I like about Africa is that there's that respect for elders. In Africa, elders are given such a high priority. They represent wisdom. So if you meet an elder, like I'm from Tanzania, if I meet someone who's older than me, I will tell them shikamo. That is a greeting to anyone that is older than me. That shows respect. That shows that I acknowledge that you're older and I respect you. So respect is a big deal in Africa. Elders are treated so well, and I feel like that's one of the best things about Africa, because elderly people, they have been through it all. They've played so much role in the community, and if they're still around us, we need to show them as much respect as we can. So that's one more thing I like about Africa. And another thing that I like is I should have written these things down, but richness, not in terms of money but in terms of nature. We have so many minerals, we have exotic islands, we have wildlife, we have exotic plants and trees. So there's so many richness in terms of nature and natural resources that Africa has. And at times I feel like I'm not bashing, but I feel like other countries have taken the advantage that Africa has so much richness, and they use it and they export it to other countries and make money, and then African countries end up having nothing, or they get such a small amount that is almost as nothing. So Africa, we have so many resources that we can use to enrich in our countries, but it's just that we get misused at times. People misuse those resources, and due to some corrupt ways, these resources are not able to utilize to benefit Africa and Africans. But we are blessed with great resources. Another thing I like about Africa is the culture and tradition. Like, tradition is there for a reason. Not all traditions are accepted. There are some crazy traditions that people should not be practicing at all, but at the same time there's some traditions that are part of us, that enable us to be able to identify ourselves and make our way forward. So we have good traditions and we have some bad traditions, but the fact that we're traditional and we try to embrace our traditions, that makes me happy. And then one more thing I like about Africa is our outfits. Have you seen African dresses and the Ankaras and everything? Hey! Tunapendezaga jamani. We look beautiful. We have great outfits. And African designers are uprising. They're trying to embrace the African, you know, materials. What do they call them? African designs. I don't know what they call them in English. Tunakuta vitenge. Unajua mishono ya vitenge. When your outfit is tailored so well with the African prints, it looks beautiful. It just looks amazing. It's different from other cultures, and so that's something I really love about it. And another thing I love about Africa is that we have beautiful people with beautiful souls and kind people, and I just love all that. I also love the languages in Africa. I love the fact that I can speak Kiswahili. It makes me feel at home, it makes me feel at ease. So I love all the languages in Africa because each one of them is different and they're interesting, and there's so much things you can learn from each language or each culture. So being African is one of the things that I'm most proud of. It's an identity that I hold dear to my heart, and it's something that I'll never be ashamed of, because at the end of the day, I am who I am because I'm African. Africa has brought me up. African has taught me some of the values I have, and I'm just grateful to Africa. I'm grateful to Africa, I'm grateful to Africans, I'm grateful to my parents for enabling me and teaching me the importance of my tradition and my culture and my identity as an African. So guys, if you have children or if you know relatives who are at a young age, it's so important to just encourage them to embrace their Africanness, if that's a word, but just keep encouraging them to be proud as an African, because at times in the societies we live in, we are made to believe that being African is less than normal. I mean, it's not fun being Africa, that it's old-fashioned and it's a thing of the past, but that is not the case at all. Being African it's amazing. Just being African itself is amazing. So try as much as possible to encourage Africans to be proud of who they are, because at the end of the day, you are who you are, and if you run away from your identity, if you're not African, then what are you really? Because if you're not accepted where you're from, or if you run out, or if you deny where you're from, then you will not really belong somewhere. I belong to Africa. I'm proud of that. And if you're African and you feel like you have no place that you belong to completely, hey, come back to Africa. We have plenty of room for you. Aye! So go ahead and embrace your Africanness. Go ahead and spread the African love, or whatever kind of love you have to offer, because there's no room for hate and love is the only way forward. So until the next video, be nice, be African, be proud, and you've got this. Bye now.